Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of the Richie Hicks Jr. Sports Podcast here on Facebook Live and YouTube. I am your host, Richie, here with my brother from another mother, Mr. Idris Salam, aka Bosco from the Bronx. How you doing on this majestic day? How you feeling, bro?
Feeling good. It's warm here in the Carolinas. Woo! We supposed to get like high 70s. Yes, I can live with that.
Yeah, yeah, it's starting to warm up in Florida, but we're still getting breathable weather at night, which I'll take. Gives me the ability to open up the windows at night, save a little bit on
Yeah,
the energy bill.
yeah, definitely.
All right, we gotta do what Shed does in spirit, because Shed is kind of like the storm field of the crew. Always giving
Yeah.
us the weather reports.
Well,
But
you
on
took me back
today's
with the storm
show,
fields.
yeah, big facts. On today's show, we're going to be hitting on Russell Wilson joining our favorite football team, Big Blue, New York Football Giants, and we're going to speak on and weigh what makes sense for the Giants, who hold the number 3 pick in April's NFL draft. It is the eve of baseball's opening day eve. We're going to talk about how we see things shaking out in which should be a very entertaining season after so much success last year for Major League Baseball on the whole. We're going to be hitting on the New York Knicks making a little franchise history yesterday against the banged up, lowly Dallas Mavericks as well. So definitely have a decent amount to speak on this morning. And I got to say, Idris, I'm really stoked about just these guys getting back on the diamond. And we're going to hold that thought for just a second. Enjoy this intro, and we will be right back.
I can make it there, I'll make it anywhere. It's up to you, New York, New York.
All right, we are back. Richie Hicks Jr. Sports Podcast. We're going to get things kicked off on the hardwood with the New York Knickerbockers. Josh Hart and Karl Anthony Towns becoming the first pair of teammates in franchise history for the Knicks to record a triple-double in their 15-point victory over the busted down Dallas Mavericks. This is not the kind of thing that I'm going to do a backflip over because I know how bad the Mavericks are. However, I must admit, it was kind of cool to see Tyler Kolek get a little burn, get his name on the score sheet. No, Boston can't really win the American League East ESPN. Leave me alone on that. Um,
No.
they could though, and we're gonna hit on it in a bit. But sometimes circumstances lead to being able to open up the bench more, and obviously it's a huge circumstance considering that, in my opinion, the best point guard in the Eastern Conference is on the shelf right now, Mr. Jalen Brunson. But Idris, we know how powerful the Celtics and the Cavaliers are. Do you think that the Knicks can navigate a path to the Eastern Conference Finals, upsetting, which would probably have to be Boston, unless they somehow don't get out of round one? Do you think the Knicks actually have the manpower to do it, or is this just yet another season where we're just going to have to take one on the chin and reload this roster a little bit deeper? Because the DiVincenzo Randall move did bring us Cat, but it did weaken out our bench as well.
It's going to be tough, man. We need an upset somewhere along the line. I think we have the manpower if Thibodeau decides to go to the bench and not just run the five into the ground. It would have to be all hands. I think the closest one we can beat is Cleveland. I say Cleveland because we played them very well in the playoffs. Um,
Yes, indeed.
but it's going to be tough, man. Boston and Cleveland look like, oh, man, 18 wheelers out of control, man.
Yes, indeed. Yeah, the Cavaliers, I must admit, kind of humbled me down because, sometimes I will call myself out and put a little too much base on history because in the history, meaning the recency bias, the Knicks
Mhm.
have done very well against the Cavaliers.
Yeah.
But this year, not so much. And it's a
No.
frustrating kind of situation because the Knicks have been so good against the Western Conference this year.
Yep.
But all I could really say is part of getting it done in the playoffs and the beautiful thing and the exciting thing about the NBA playoffs is that you're going to get unsung heroes that step up. You see it every year. So it's a matter of Tom Thibodeau having the ability to trust his bench. Like, I'm not tripping on Jalen Brunson possibly not playing in round one because if we can't beat the Detroit Pistons without Jalen Brunson, we don't belong in the dance.
I agree. And yeah, yeah. Detroit's pretty good though. I gotta give it to them. Compared to how they were at the start of the season. But yeah, we can't beat them without Brunson, and we don't deserve to be in there.
No, I couldn't agree more. And I must admit, in lieu of Jalen Brunson being sidelined since the fall on top of Austin Reeves, about an hour after LeBron James scared the ever living shit out of Stephen A. Smith. Um, you know, Deuce McBride's been getting better in terms of his range. I think his shot is getting better. I think his confidence levels
Yeah,
have risen. And Tyler Kolek is a guy that this team brought in. He lit up the summer league, and I still feel that this is a guy that could contribute in the playoffs and a guy that might absolutely have to, particularly in round one. Like we saw it last year, where the Knicks were catching a bunch of injuries. The injury strays were hitting the Knicks, and a lot of guys stepped up last year. This roster is considerably different than last year, but we got to see. We got to see what we could do. I mean, I personally believe that the Knicks missed a golden opportunity last year to make the ECF, but truthfully, as great of a season as Cleveland is having, I still think this is the Boston Celtics conference to win.
I'm going with Cleveland, man. I'm going with Cleveland.
You like Cleveland. Do you trust
Yeah,
Donovan Mitchell as their second scorer in the playoffs, a guy that can be consistent enough? We know what Darius Garland brings. We know what that roster in general brings, and they play defense over there.
yeah, I think so. I think so. And this year, yeah, I think so. I like to, I like to see them win it for the fact that, for obvious reasons. I don't want to say, but yeah,
I'm going to fill this in. You would like to see them do something without LeBron James.
that's it.
Uh, prior to prior to LeBron James' arrival and then departure and then re-arrival, they did have some great teams in the '90s.
Yep,
Brad Daugherty,
yep,
Mark Price, Craig Elo, Ron Harper. The infamous Jordan put-down shot will forever live for infamy in Cleveland sports because of the fact that Ron Harper pleaded with his coach to guard Michael Jordan.
yep,
They made the fatal mistake of putting Craig Elo on him. Craig Elo did not have that vertical to hang with Mike's finish on that shot. And it
yep,
makes you beg to wonder if his eventual future teammate, Ron Harper, would have been the better choice. And maybe MJ doesn't make that shot.
yeah,
It would have certainly put a lot more pressure on that shot going down. And, Brad Daugherty, he's in the stock car racing world. Last I recall,
yep,
one of the great centers that didn't have enough years in the league, because I do believe that if he would have played a little longer, you're talking about a guy that would have had easy entry into the Naismith Basketball Hall of Fame.
yeah. I agree. I agree 100% with that.
When
And
Shaq
those
got
Cleveland
drafted
teams
by
are good.
Orlando. You know,
Hmm.
when Shaq got drafted by Orlando, I identified Darty as the second best center in the East at the time, not named Patrick Ewing, basically.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, and the Dunking Dutchman at the time, pretty good guy as well. Do you have any empathy for these Pacer injuries? I want to make it clear we don't wish injury on anyone, but after the hooting and hollering and Tyrese Halliburton acting like some
Yeah.
kind of way, I guess somebody forgot to remind him with Reggie Miller's choke signals that they didn't win that series.
No, they didn't.
You know, yeah, maybe Miller should have stepped off the desk and possibly had a word with Halliburton.
Yeah. And I never want anyone to be hurt. Of course not. You want everyone to play because you want to see a good game. But I have no empathy, man. I mean, Halliburton last year, and look, you guys lost. Reggie Miller, when he did, those Indiana teams were good. They were good, real good. You know, so and Reggie Miller was that guy.
In my opinion,
Halliburton,
bro,
yeah,
the closest to knocking down the Bulls dynasty during their dynasty because I
yeah,
give praise to the Knicks teams that played them hard. I give praise to the Utah Jazz who gave them two really good punches in the finals. But that 98 Pacer team, were it not for Dale Davis, brick after brick at that free throw line, I think the Pacers
yep,
beat the Bulls.
yep, yep.
I
That
think
those
Dale
there. That's
Davis
crazy.
has so many muscles that he used to squeeze the ball. I don't
Yeah,
know.
yeah, he was. Yeah,
I don't know.
he's a muscular
Chris Rock
dude.
explained this in Basketball Jones when discussing Iron Mike Tyson. He
Yeah,
kicks the ball against the wall and makes
yeah,
it fall.
yeah,
So yeah,
man.
it's kind of like a bull in a china shop, and that's how I would describe Dale Davis
Yeah,
at the free
yeah.
throw line. Before we move it along, out west, Idris, what do you like that you're seeing in the NBA, and do you think that these lower seeded teams could make a potential punch at the obvious favorites?
Yeah, I think so, man. OKC, I'm surprised at OKC. I didn't think they would be that defensive, but they're a damn good defensive team, man. And
Jay Hartenstein coming in really
yeah,
has helped them.
yeah, former Nick.
I miss him this year. I'm not gonna lie. I do miss Isaiah this year.
Me too, me too, me too. Denver's coming on. And you know when Denver comes on, look out. The Lakers are falling, which I figured they would. I know the Luca, and this is no hate against LeBron right here, but yeah, the Luca LeBron thing was like, yeah, hip hip hooray, yeah, 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 early on, but like in any position, like, it's just like in football when you got a new quarterback, no one ever seen him, he lights it up. Next year, we know how this guy is now, and they shut him down. The same thing with the
Yes,
Lakers,
indeed.
yeah, Luca did his thing, LeBron doing his thing. Now people are like, oh, okay, we figured you out now. Honeymoon is over.
Yes, indeed.
You got to play basketball, and
Luca's not a
the,
two-way guy, and
he's not a
people
two way
will
guy,
make
man.
fun of Dallas's decision to not invest in Luca further, and it definitely upset the fan base. You know, Sneaky G, who lives out in that area, he has a really cool podcast.
Mm,
Diehard Devout Giants fan said himself that he feels that it might have been a domino move to eventually relocate the franchise possibly to Vegas. He might be onto something, but truthfully, when you're making that kind of investment and you got certain lifestyle things that you don't really care for that Luca was bringing, plus
yeah,
he's not a great defender. And not everybody has to be a great defender, but I think anybody that coaches Luca wants to see the effort at minimum. Melo wasn't a great defender, but I don't necessarily think it was always about lack of effort. I just think he wasn't a great defender.
yeah.
Jalen Brunson's not a great defender, but he doesn't quit on plays.
No, you don't quit on plays. And see, that's the thing. Luca is not a defender. I mean, he'll let you believe. LeBron will let you blow by sometimes, but a lot of the time. So, I mean, I don't know, man. I just don't think this. I think Luca might be for the future, you know. But
Well, it's no secret that the Lakers have always prioritized having that franchise face pretty much since going all the way back to George Mike and then Jerry West. They made a deal and brought in the most prolific scorer of the league history and Mr. Chamberlain. Then you go get Jabbar, pair him up with Irvin Magic Johnson. Kobe,
Yep.
Shaq. The list goes on and on. LeBron. But
I think
yeah,
with the
if this
Lakers,
was about 2, 3 weeks ago, I would have said, man, I think the Lakers might be able to do something here. And we know that rest minutes are a thing, and they're
yeah,
kind of. But I don't like the way they're limping to the line here at the end. I expected a little
mhm,
more out of them this juncture of the year.
that's what I'm saying. Yeah, I just think. I mean, I just think they're fool's gold, man. You have to play defense in the playoffs.
And I
You
feel the
have to
same
play
way about
defense.
Golden State too, bro, to be frank with you. I feel the same way about Golden State. I don't trust Jimmy Butler over there. I feel that
Yeah.
you're going to have some kind of conflict during the playoffs where there's going to be an issue. They definitely miss Clay. And speaking of Clay, that air ball, my, oh my.
Oh my man. Yeah.
Yeah, buddy. But I think it's OKC's conference. But I'll tell you this. If Joker goes ham and just really blacks out in a series, he
Yeah.
is one of the few players in this league that can propel his team to a different level. We saw him do it a few years ago. Um, and friend of the show, Tommy Supple,
Mhm.
former point guard in my high school team. He was also a quarterback. He and I have some really cool basketball discussions, and he said that if if Joker starts adding a little more hardware, we're going to be forced to put him into this top 10 conversation, if not further, because of his very varied skill set, or even in terms of guys that you want to put in the GOAT conversation. I don't know, but not many have done it on the stat sheet the way that Jokic does.
Yeah. Jokic is something else, man. He is something else, man. I mean, he's obviously the leader. Vocally on the court, everything. And I like his game because he plays like I don't want to be out here. I'm just going through the motions.
Yeah,
But
definitely got a little bit of Marshawn Lynch in him on that regard.
it's just like Lynch. The game is over. He got 38, 10 and 10. You're like, well, dang. You know.
No,
Yeah, I like
and he does it
Yogi.
quietly. The demeanor in a lot of metrics is similar to a Tim Duncan.
Yeah,
Tim Duncan was known as the big fundamental. And,
yeah,
while he doesn't sometimes get revered in that era the way that a Kobe and a Shaq would, or even just before them, Michael Jordan, the reality
yeah,
of the situation is Tim Duncan on a regular season basis had a higher winning percentage than the Lakers' big two back then. And, of course, Jordan and Pip. And, were it not for a very dubious decision by Coach Greg Popovich to take Tim Duncan out, I don't think there's Ray Allen magic. I don't think there's the Miami Heat fans trying to bum rush American Airlines Stadium and get back in,
nope,
arena, I should say. And, you know, he would have had six, just like MJ and just like Kareem. But Joker needs a little more hardware, I think,
yeah,
for a lot of NBA fans to put him in that regard. But as a singular talent, the dude is just truly remarkable. I want to
yeah,
send out best wishes to Dame Lillard. Very unfortunate situation with him with the blood clot in his calf. Nothing you ever want to see.
yeah, yeah. Because when you messing with your legs, man, anything can happen.
No, I just had a procedure done. About 6 weeks ago, something like that, 5 weeks ago,
Mm,
and I'm not playing in the NBA. So best wishes to him on a full recovery. And if it means it's the end of the career, that is a small thing. Life is important. He's important to a lot of people in his family. I just want to say we wish him the best.
yep, yep.
All right, moving it along. We got opening day tomorrow. Carlos Rodon getting the ball for our New York Yankees against the Milwaukee Brewers. I'm not going to front, man. I kind of want to play hooky tomorrow, and I might have to catch up with John Olson.
Yeah, I'm off tomorrow, and I'm glad. Yeah, man, I'm glad baseball season is here, but golly, man, we
You're
lose our
feeling the
ace, man.
deflation of the Garrett Cole injury. I know it.
Yeah, yeah, it's like golly, man.
No, for sure. For sure. I hear you, Idris. I do
Yeah,
hear you. My way too early, but final minute predictions, and they are a little altered from the show I did with Dorney about a month or so ago. My American League playoff teams going in. I got that hated Houston Astros as the 1 seed. I know a lot of people are hot for Texas, but I'm sorry. Texas has to stay healthy for me to believe it. And I don't believe it just yet. I will be more than happy to be called out by our guy Zappy if I'm wrong. We got the Kansas City Royals in the Central winning that division as the 2. My New York Yankees, your New York Yankees,
Yep.
got them as the American League champions, but it's going to be a village approach and a true team effort. In the Yankees' case, I truly believe that they absolutely have to have the lead after 6. With that shutdown bullpen that they put together, even without the services of Garrett Cole, I
Yeah.
think the Yankees are going to win a decent amount of ball games. And it's not like we don't have some players on offense. Bellinger and Goldie could be very huge for this organization, but we do have a gaping hole at third base. Fuck you, AJ Hinch, but your Detroit
Always.
Tigers are pretty good. Boston Red Sox, Alex Cora. That's my prediction for American League Manager of the Year. He's going to have the Red Sox back in the postseason. And I've got the Cleveland Guardians as the final wild card.
Okay.
They did lose the ALCS to the Yankees last year. I believe that American League Central is the most competitive division in all of baseball right now. And that's the reason I got them sending 3. Because when I think about the American League East, Kevin Cash is a great manager, but I don't see the Tampa Bay Rays being able to survive too long. And, the Toronto Blue Jays, Vlad, I think, has 1 foot out the door. I think Donnie Baseball will eventually become their manager. And when I think about just the layout, if there's a team that's missing here, it's Zappy's Rangers. But like I said, they got to show me. They did win the World Series a couple of years ago, but, they acquired Jacob deGrom. Is he going to finally stay healthy? I know what he's capable of when he is, but I'm not sure. Offensively, they're a damn good team, but I'm not convinced that they have the pitching to sustain.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I kind of want to put Texas in there, but it's their pitching, man. It's just not there. Degrom is an ace, man, when he's healthy. Well,
Oh,
I mean,
he's
he
next
can't.
level.
Yeah,
DeGrom is next level when he is right.
yeah. I'm glad he won himself a ring. 'Cause I think he was deserving for his days in with the Mets. Um, but yeah, I mean, they gotta get some pitching, man. As for us, I think the same with us. I think we get them to 6. We get our bullpen in there. I think we'll be okay from that.
I
Garrett
love the
Cole's a big
bridge.
loss. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Weaver
Yeah.
did great as an emergency closer who ended up getting consistent when Clay Holmes is getting the ball for the Mets.
Yeah.
They are torn down with injuries. We're going to hit on them in a moment, but yeah, Devin Williams, excellent, excellent pickup from Milwaukee, and it's
Oh
it's
man.
kind of funny
Yeah.
how he's going to be looking at his former team, probably in a save situation tomorrow. He just kind
Yeah.
of just
Right.
kind of works out that way.
Yeah. Right out the gate.
But let's go, Carlos Rodon.
Yeah.
We gave you big money. Now it's time to be a big money pitcher. And Max Fried
Yep.
has the ability to be an ace,
Yep.
and we're going to need that because Luis Heal's out until June. Marcus Stroman getting second life. He was damn near traded. Now he's back in the mix. And Will Warren has enjoyed a good spring. Can he challenge Clark Schmidt for the final rotation spot as the year moves along? I know Clark Schmidt, I imagine, gets the first. And I mean, shoot, bro. Carlos
Yeah.
Carrasco, 38 years old, cancer
I,
survivor,
right.
back
Well,
in the
yeah.
bigs.
I was gonna say where he
Gotta
been.
love it,
Yeah.
man. Gotta love it.
Yeah. That's wild.
Yeah, some guys, man, they're like, screw you, Father Time.
Yeah.
National League playoff teams, I've got the Dodgers. No surprise there. I'll be
Yeah.
honest, they have a chance to break the records of the Mariners and the Yankees alike for overall best records, regular season playoffs, the whole lick. They are that good. Philadelphia Phillies, I've got them tentatively as the number 2 winning the East for 2 reasons. The Atlanta Braves are welcoming back some talent, but I am not convinced that they're going to be healthy enough to get it done. They did lose Freed. Got my late grandfather's favorite team, the Chicago Cubs, as the central champion and as the 3 seed San Diego Padres who I feel could be the most direct threat to the Dodgers at the top wild card. New York Mets, although I don't think they have enough pitching, I really like that lineup, and I do think that they might make a move or two around the deadline. They'll get in. And I've got the Arizona Diamondbacks, who, in my opinion, have the best rotation in all of Major League Baseball and could also be a surprise threat to the top teams in this league if they can get enough offense. Corbin Carroll's incredible, but I want to see consistency from other guys in that lineup. Time will reveal that.
Yeah, I agree. I had the Diamondbacks competing. So I got Philly, yeah, Philly and Arizona competing. Of course, the Dodgers. I mean, golly, man, they got everybody, man.
And they're not
I
done
mean,
yet. There's rumors that they might be getting Sandy Alcantara. As much as I would hate to see them get stronger, I prefer
yeah,
him going there as opposed to somebody in the American League. That's all I really got on that. I'd love to see the Yankees get their name in that hat.
yeah.
But
It was
yeah, Dodgers,
surprising.
bro. Only the Dodgers could stop the Dodgers. That's how I feel.
Yeah, I expect the ghost of Vince Scully to come back. I'm serious, man. The Dodgers are just like, man.
Yeah,
You
man.
talking about?
They are most definitely exercising their demons of being a bridesmaid. These guys are good, and Dave. Nobody's complaining about David Roberts anymore, but it helps when you have
Yeah,
essentially an all-star at almost every position. This is my ALCS prediction. I've got the Houston Astros defeating the Detroit Tigers 4-2. I've got the Los Angeles Dodgers defeating the Philadelphia Phillies 4-3. And I've got the World Series a bit of revenge for what happened in the past. The Astros getting whooped on by the Dodgers 4-1. Mookie Betts will be the MVP of the World Series. These are some award driven things that I'm bringing up here. Let the viewers take a look at that. I got Judge hitting an even 60, doing it again. That record that the Babe had for so many years. Then Roger Maris, of course, Judge has it now. Kyle Schwarber and Shohei Ohtani tying it up at 49. National League Cy Young, I've got Corbin Burns of the team we just mentioned, the Diamondbacks. Jason Dominguez, American League Rookie of the Year. People are like, he's still a rookie. Yes, he actually is. Roki Sasaki, Dodgers rookie, I got him winning that award. Judge and Ohtani as the MVPs. Other candidates, Paul Skeens could potentially be the Cy Young in the NL. The surprise that I might have on my list is that I have Dylan Cease of the Boston Red Sox winning the American League Cy Young. That's how you know I'm not a hater, because I hate the
yeah,
Red Sox, but I try to call it the way I see it. I think Max Fried has the ability to have a great year,
yeah,
but Alex Cora, I said it. He's going to win AL Manager of the Year. And if the Rangers get back and make a liar out of me, Bruce Bochy most definitely will be in that conversation. But just a couple of hot takes, and we're going to be doing a ton of baseball shows. And I'm going to ring the bell, put the signal on, and I think Corey Rain's going to be coming back in here pretty soon. Our big baseball enthusiast, and former namesake of the show, Jordan Patrick, also wants to get back in, so we're going to be bringing him in as well.
word. Yeah, I'm going
Don't
Yankees
worry,
Dodgers.
sports fans. Zappy is alive and well. We talk frequently. He's just in daddy mode. All his kids are athletes, and he is a busy, busy guy, but he will be coming back on the show in the near future as well.
Yeah, yep.
All right. My favorite part. Without further ado, Russell Wilson, welcome to New York City, my man.
Hey,
Will the Giants still be in on Shadeur Sanders? Idris, let it rip.
no, my opinion, and I think Russ is trade bait. I think what we'll do is package him up with our number three, move up to number one, and draft Cam Ward. I think Russell. I think Shadeur. It's not hate. I just don't think they're into Shadeur as they say because he brings a lot. He brings a lot of baggage with him. I think quarterback. I think he's a good quarterback, but I always say I think he's a year away from being the quarterback people think he is. And I think with a guy like him, the distractions he brings, and he's a rookie coming to a franchise that's pretty much dysfunctional. Um, you don't want to bring him in there because if something goes wrong, it's Dion's going to start getting into it, and it's a whole bunch of nonsense. Da, 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 da. Nah, nah.
I disagree with you on the way this is going to play. I'm not going to
Mm,
tell you that we're for sure going to draft Shadeur Sanders, but this is what I'm looking at. We got the 3 pick,
yeah,
and you know that the Tennessee Titans need a quarterback really bad because they're already trying to get rid of Will Levis. I
yeah,
believe that opens the door for Cam Ward going number 1 overall to the Tennessee Titans. I think the wild card is what does Cleveland really want to do? Because to your
yeah,
point about the Giants trading up, there is that possibility. But I want to let everybody know Russell Wilson is on a 1-year deal. He's going to compete with Jameis Winston for the starting position this year.
yeah,
And honestly, even if you look at last year, Mike Tomlin used both Justin Fields and Russell Wilson. It's kind of ironic that both those quarterbacks are going to be in the same stadium yet again, just for different teams.
yeah,
And you got Jameis Winston, who I don't think is mind blown with the Wilson acquisition. Jameis has always welcomed open competition. I don't think he's too concerned about that. He got paid rather well for the backup role,
yeah.
but I would not rule out Jameis Winston winning the competition and Russell Wilson being brought in on certain packages because of his ability to run the football.
Okay.
And he is a very mobile quarterback, which does, on certain metrics, make sense for the Dable offense. Now, as draft day goes, as I said, if I'm the Cleveland Browns, I'm probably going to get either Travis Hunter or Abdul Carter. You get Abdul Carter opposite of Myles Garrett, you have something that nobody else in the league has at that level. Those 2 pass rushers together could be something very special. Um, but Cleveland also does need a quarterback. I would have to think that Dion would raise holy hell in the event that Shadeur Sanders got drafted by the Cleveland Browns. No child deserves to go to Cleveland. But this is interesting now. Does Cleveland trade back with a team like New Orleans, a team like the Jets, a team like the Raiders that might want the services of Shadeur? Now, granted, the Jets did get Justin Fields, but I don't think that's an end-all, be-all solution either. Um, the way I look at it is I do consider Shadeur a reach at 3. However, if the Giants traded back to say, I don't know, 6, if the
Yeah,
Raiders, maybe the Raiders want Travis Hunter. I mean, they did get Geno. Point to be
yeah,
made is, point to be made is, if the Giants draft Shadeur, I think the best value is getting him while trading back. The Giants might not want to play that game with the uncertainty of other teams and take him at 3. Why get Shadeur? I'll tell you the why, and then I'll tell you why not. The why is neither one of these men that are currently on your roster are going to be there long term. I think, let's say hypothetically, if Russell Wilson wins the job,
yeah,
he'll be your starter this year. It's only a 1-year deal for a reason. You got Jameis on for 2. Jameis in year 2 of Shadeur Sanders' career plays the mentor role.
yeah.
And Shadeur breaks on the field early in the year. He might even be the starter from jump next year. But I think the Giants' plan, if they bring in Shadeur, is to literally have him sit and learn from 2 well-respected veterans in this league who both know their place in the league. And I'll be
But what?
honest,
Yeah.
2 great personalities in terms of teaching the game of football, and I think they have different varying styles that could both teach Shador a lot if they go that route.
So you mean they'll cut Tommy DeVito?
Tommy Cutlets more than likely ends up on the practice squad, but
No,
I do
I
not
mean,
foresee DeVito having much more than that, unless if the Giants are like, hey, Travis Hunter, welcome to New York City. That's not out of the question either. And then that opens up the door for, do we want to get a quarterback in round 2 or later,
yeah,
which is also a possibility. But I still have a vibe that the reason why the Giants did this, in addition to just making the quarterback room better, I mean, people are funny. Our
yeah.
quarterback room has been so scarce for so long. They go get a guy who won a Super Bowl, played in back-to-back Super Bowls. They get a guy who has one of the stronger arms in the league, and Giant fans will still find a way to complain.
That's how they are, man.
Malik Neighbors is going to eat, my man. I'll tell you that.
I mean, Davis is cool with it. Your number one receiver is like, yeah, I want a veteran in there.
Absolutely. He
Our fans
understands the game
compare.
of football. He got
It's
that little
like,
taste with the Drew Lock game, and he's like, I want more of this.
yeah, it's like our fans are like, what about why we're not doing nothing about Shadeur? The draft hasn't come yet, and I said I'm not too keen on Shadeur Sanders, man. I'm really not.
And you've been pretty accurate with your assessment of college quarterbacks over the last couple of years here on the show. So I definitely value your opinions. And, I said this to some Giant friends and on other people's pages that sometimes when positional need is a thing, it kind of hyper jumps the BPA standpoint. But I'm
Yeah,
sorry. When you have the opportunity to possibly get a Travis Hunter who's a two-way player and a premier corner immediately, and you can move Paulson to Dabo back to two, similarly to how he was in New Orleans, the
yep,
Giants are going to be in the conversation of having one of the better secondaries in the NFL immediately. And when you have a
yeah,
good secondary, that makes things a lot easier for your pass rush.
yeah. And I
And,
think I,
Deontay Banks doesn't wow anybody. I would be more than fine with him, relaxing on the bench.
well, he better watch it.
Because Paulson Adebo right now is the number one corner. But if you bring in a
Yeah,
Travis Hunter, you know, Javon Holland at safety,
yep,
Giants could have a premier secondary if you bring in Hunter, not to mention a guy that could do some stuff on offense.
yep. I mean,
And don't get me started
yeah.
with Abdul Carter, bro. That would get
Oh
that
man,
would give
oh
some Giant fans the old school vibes of a
yeah,
man that wore really cool earrings.
yeah. I like our position. Like I said, we have Russell. We got him pretty cheap. We definitely got Jameis cheap. We got the number three pick.
You got two quarterbacks for less than what you paid Jones.
Right, exactly. Yeah,
And this,
and
yeah,
e- either one is a bridge to whoever we draft. Either one.
yeah, and
You
that's
know.
the thing. Like, if both these guys were on multi-year deals, I would just completely not even consider that they're going to draft Shador. But with
Yeah.
Wilson only being there for a year, I think you're basically setting up a situation where it's an open competition with two veterans,
Hmm.
and whoever doesn't win the competition is going to be directly linked to being the mentor for Shador. But both of these guys, I think, know coming in that part of your duty for us is to leave it better than how you found it. And what they mean by that is you're going to help this young kid if we do bring him in. And it's so interesting because I know that on some outlets, people have accused the Giants of being a racist organization because never drafting a black quarterback. And up until the Tyrod Taylor start, or even before that, the Geno Smith start, Geno Smith was the first black quarterback to start a game for the G-Men.
Yeah.
Tyrod Taylor is the first black quarterback to win a game for the G-Men. And while, you know, there could be some merit and everybody deserves an opinion, I will say this. When Kerry Collins didn't miss a start up until '03 due to injury, he had quite a game start streak going. Then Eli had an Iron Man streak going for a while where he was second to only Brett Favre, which ultimately changed.
Yep.
Um, I don't think the opportunity really presented itself for the Giants to draft a black quarterback or sign one via free agency, unless if you're talking that dark period in Giants quarterback history, post Hostetler, post Sims, where we had the Kent Grahams, the Danny Cannells, the Dave Browns of the world, where you maybe could have scored a veteran like, say, a Warren Moon or a Randall Cunningham.
We were never
But
in a position.
yeah, and I think that's something because when you're bringing in two well-respected veterans, you bring in Shador Sanders, you have three black quarterbacks in your quarterback room now.
Yeah.
But I never really care to make it about that. But I do occasionally want to roll my eyes when I have seen this in certain circles where people will accuse the Giants of being racist just because it hasn't happened yet. I mean, you don't hear this about the Patriots,
Right.
but the Patriots were the second to last team to start a black quarterback, and that was Jacoby Brissett.
Yeah.
And I do think on some metrics and layers, it was a league-wide thing where the black quarterback, unfortunately, was pigeonholed into, well, they're great athletes. They're great athletes, but we don't know. We don't know. We don't know. And yes, there have been a lot of ladders and a lot of steep hills for a lot of these great quarterbacks to climb. You look at a guy like a Doug Williams. You look at Warren Moon. It was unjust how he had to go to the CFL first.
Yep.
But this isn't the same thing, and I think that's what I'm trying to get at.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm with you that. I'm with you on that one.
But just my opinion, and if somebody differs from opinion, I'd love to hear it because we value any and all and welcome any and all opinions on this matter.
Yeah.
But the G-men, in my opinion, you gotta at least consider going Shadeur here because this is still short-term solutions. Because we know what good Jameis could be, but we also know what bad Jameis could be.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm going. I mean, we may not get Cam Ward. I said, let's go get I like Tyler Shaw actually, or Quinn Ewers,
Yeah,
man.
he's got a lot of injury history, but from a
That's
skill
his
base
thing. Yeah,
standpoint, would be right next to these two young men were it not for the injuries.
yeah, yeah, yeah. We'll see.
I
Draft's
got him
coming.
possibly going to Pittsburgh, if not Jackson Dart. And there is that possibility if the Giants want to go corner that they could trade back into the tail end of round one or be patient at 34 and see if Dart's still there.
Yeah,
Most media publications say the Giants aren't even thinking about Dart. That could be a ploy too.
yeah. We'll see, man. We'll see.
Mo- Most definitely going to be very interesting, bro. Most definitely going to be very interesting. I'm going to post this real quick. And I do want to talk about Jaden Daniels and Juju for a moment as well before we ride out of here. But Mama Daniels, bro, something. But
Mama
here,
Daniels, Mama Daniels need to fall back a little bit.
no, you can speak on this. I'm going to let the viewers see the mock draft results of one that I did before we went live today. And I'm going to move it along specifically to my Giant picks. I did trade back to 6 and was still able to get Shadeur Sanders, Donovan Jackson at an OSU, great interior lineman.
Yeah,
Marcus, I don't know how to pronounce this young man's name, MBOW. Is the M
yeah,
silent?
yeah.
Is the B silent? I don't know.
I don't
What I
either.
do know is that he's going to transfer to center if he makes the pros. That I do know. Um, I would be thrilled if the Giants got some of these players. Mondone Jr. from the UGA Bulldogs, I think, could be a potential replacement for a surprise cut if the Giants decide to move on from Bobby Okereke, because conflicting reports have said that the Giants are not pleased with Okereke in terms of Bowen's system. I like Okereke as a player. We shall see. And it's also a salary-driven thing, too.
Yeah.
But let's hear about Juju. Let's hear about Jaden. Let's hear about Mama Daniels. This was a little awkward, pal.
I mean, man, I'm gonna ruffle some feathers with this. I mean, on one hand, I can see her protecting her son. However, these are the type of mothers that spoil relationships and overprotective. I mean, him. I mean, he's successful, and Juju's on her way. They're just chopping it up, you know.
And that
And
makes
for
it
her,
kind of crappy when you're taking the headlines.
yeah, yeah. So I think moms need to fall back a little bit. You can't. Your son can't be your husband. You know.
I couldn't agree more. And at the end of the day, it's nothing new that professional athletes always honor their mothers and try to do right and change their lives. But at some point, and then, the eeriness of the unfortunate knee tear. And, I've seen people not poking fun at the injury, but poking fun at the irony of it, saying, damn, man, Mama Daniels might have some voodoo doll somewhere.
I mean, I, I mean, I'm not gonna lie, man. I didn't want to laugh, but when I first heard that, I did chuckle a little bit. I was like, damn.
And I got to say it was unfortunate because, we've seen it. We've been there too. The
Yeah,
chemistry was just so yeah, it's there.
yeah, yeah.
Two young people having that opener conversation. You could tell that there was definitely mutual interest there.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah,
And
oh yeah.
it's unfortunate. We wish her a speedy recovery. Big blow to the USC program. It sucks.
You know what? I watched that USC game that she got hurt in, and when she got hurt, dude, that team came together, man. I was like, Lord.
Well, they were
Yeah,
running them prior to her getting injured. They were up 13-2.
yeah, they're running them, yeah, and they just kept on, man. we'll see what happens moving forward. But that USC team is good, man. They're good.
No, they're good. They are good. And I want to call out St. John's University before I get out of here. Thanks a lot for nothing, for completely ruining me and Jordan's ticket over the weekend. Um, Bro, I hit 13 out of 14. If the Johnnies win that game, I turn $10 into $400.
I thought they was going to win.
I thought they were too, but more importantly, I didn't think they were going to quit.
I know, man. A Rick
Rick,
Pitino team?
Rick Pitino is not pleased. I will say that.
Nah,
Some
nah.
heads are going to roll. Some transfers are going to go down.
Yeah, yeah. That's crazy, man.
Indeed, indeed. Very crazy. Opening day tomorrow to my baseball
Yes,
fans. Merry
yes.
Christmas on that for the people who love baseball the way that I do. I am very much looking forward to it. And it's a nice little old school American League East rivalry
Uh-huh.
because back in the day, the County Stadium days, the Milwaukee Brewers used
Yep,
to be in that division before they went
yep,
back to the National League. Milwaukee used to have the Braves. That's the connection with the National League, and of course
yep,
the Hank Aaron era.
yep.
Final
It
thought,
starts
Idris. Anything you
tomorrow.
want to say on the way out?
Ah, the boys of spring, the boys of summer, the boys of winter. Baseball's back, man.
Gotta love it. And it never really ends because, these guys play year round. And, just like it's always football season around here, it's always baseball season. I got a final thought. New York Rangers, guys are like a horse with a bad leg. Take them out of their misery. I've seen enough.
I'm done.
I'm done. I am so done with this season in hockey. So disappointed. They're
Yeah,
only they're only 2 points out of the final wild card. They're actually tied with the Islanders, but I am just so disgusted with what I'm seeing.
yeah, yeah. They just gave away everything, and now look at them. I mean, they're floundering, man. I'm like, this is not the team from last year or the year before. I'm like, what are y'all doing?
And the sad thing is, they're not even the same team from week to week because you never know what you're getting when the Rangers get on the ice.
Yeah,
They play good periods. They don't play whole games, and it is so
yeah,
frustrating to watch. They are
yeah,
still bad against the forecheck. They are still bad in transition. Their line changes seem a little too lackadaisical for me. I'm just not happy.
yeah, yeah.
Get it together, Rangers. And then since Igor got that bag, I'm sorry, man. He does not look like the same guy either.
Nah.
When you got the well-traveled Jonathan Quick looking just as good, if not better from time to time, it is alarming. But we'll see. One thing I've learned about the Stanley Cup playoffs is expect the unexpected. And
Yeah.
hey, at least we're not as crappy as the Bruins.
That's always
Yeah,
good.
Father Time caught that show.
Yeah.
Until next time, he is Idris Salam. I am Richie Hicks Jr. Make it a point to check out the station, The V Mix, on live365.com, where you can hear Idris's mixes, and we are sending him promos to promote this show. Check out the Basement Show with Johnny Nast and the crew. Those people are on just damn near every day, ranging from everything. He's working on a sports blog as well. Casual Convo Show every Wednesday night from 8 to 10. For Idris, I am Richie. Have a great Wednesday and happy opening day eve. Take care, everyone.
Yeah. Yep.